My visit to Gloucester started off with an invitation by the United States Coast Guard to Eastern Point Lighthouse. Petty Officer William Schofield gave me a private tour of the light that still serves as an operating aid to navigation. Now I'm heading over to the Coast Guard station to meet with Petty Officer First Class Devin Smith to join the crew on a patrol up the coast of Massachusetts. But first, they surprised me with an old Coast Guard rite of passage, the dewatering pump exercise.
So this is the Coast Guard P6 dewatering pump. We'll use this if we arrive on scene. There's a vessel that's going to be taking on water. Okay. It's going to dewater at about 250 gallons per minute, so quite a lot of water in a really short amount of time. Basically what we're going to allow you to do is set the pump up, let you start it, and like I said, our crewmen can get this thing up and running in about 30 seconds.
I don't know if I could do that, but okay. All right.
I'm confident in you. I think you can do it.
Okay, how long did it take you the first time you did it?
The first time I did it, that was a long time ago, so I don't remember.
He's pleading the fifth. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. With any luck, I won't drain my self-esteem with this pump.
It's a complete disappointment. Might as well just jump in now. Call it a day.
We were in the middle of a P6 pump demonstration when a call came in and the Coast Guard had to scramble. The United States Coast Guard is a branch of the United States Armed Forces. Created by Congress on August 4, 1790 at the request of Alexander Hamilton, it is the oldest continuous seagoing service of the United States. Its primary roles are maritime homeland security, maritime law enforcement, search and rescue, marine environmental protection, the maintenance of river, intercoastal, and offshore aids to navigation. After witnessing a rescue on the harbor, it was time to join Officer Smith and his crew on patrol.
Clear 2 when you can. Force clear. Clear 2 when you can. Hey. Hey.
We're aboard a Coast Guard 47 in Gloucester Harbor with the United States Coast Guard, Petty Officer Devin Smith. Officer Smith, thank you very much for inviting me on board today.
No problem, no problem. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
It's awesome. So tell me about the statistics of the boat.
It's a Coast Guard 47-foot motor lifeboat. She's, in my opinion, the best search and rescue platform that we have. She's going to be used for our worst weather that Mother Nature can throw at us. She can handle seas all the way up to 30 feet and winds up to 50 knots. So when you think about that, that's a rather large storm and some rather large seas.
You don't want to be out there.
Exactly. It's all electronically controlled, so it's actually a computer system looking at everything that has to do with the engine, all the pressures and the temperatures. It's rather sophisticated piece of machinery that we have here.
Well, I have the utmost respect for the Coast Guard and what you guys do to protect the coastline of Massachusetts and the whole country, but really, a lot of people I don't think realize that the Coast Guard is really an international operation. Is that right?
We are. We might just be here at home protecting the coast and doing homeland security missions, but we're all over the world. We're over there in the Middle East helping out the Navy. We're doing counter-narcotics missions, down in the Caribbean and off of South America. Our jobs really take us all over the place. That's the thing that kind of drew me to the Coast Guard, was that unknown side of, oh, there's a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
There's all of these things that can kind of open up and we can do a lot of different missions.
My visit with the United States Coast Guard was memorable and educational. The members of the Coast Guard take their jobs very seriously. I didn't even get a chance to thank Petty Officer Smith on camera because just when we were getting ready to do that, the alarm sounded again and the crew was off. In this episode, I was very fortunate to be able to visit with a couple of my good friends, and I met some new ones along the way. In Boston, I boarded the Spirit of Boston, and Captain Sean McGrath handed me the wheel to the boat.
I am now piloting a 200-foot vessel.
Then, I drove to Salem to meet up with my good friend Michael Rocket at the Salem Waterfront Hotel and Suites. The United States Coast Guard invited me to Eastern Point Lighthouse in Gloucester, and Petty Officer Schofield gave me a behind-the-scenes private tour. I wrapped up my trip at the Coast Guard station in Gloucester, where I got a little humbled by a dewatering pump exercise.
Might as well just jump in now.
Petty Officer Smith then invited me aboard a 47-foot motorized lifeboat for a patrol with his crew along the coast of Massachusetts. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm Greg Bogosian. I'll see you next time on the New England Traveler.